What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Fight Pit WWE. I'm Justin, and I'm running this show solo this week as we talk about our recap of Bash in Berlin. We're also going to talk about a couple of things that showed up on WWE Monday Night Raw and how that ties into our next PLE, which is Bad Blood. So if you like this type of content, hit that like button down below. But first, a quick word from our sponsors over at Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats, the most trustworthy and easy to navigate ticketing website there is. They have reliable and rewarding tickets and a 100% buyer guarantee. That means a couple of things. Your transactions will be safe and secure. You will get full service customer care and be compensated for any canceled events. And it also has the only ticket rewards program around, and that is important with all of these PLEs coming up. You got Bad Blood coming up. We're coming towards the end of the year, which means we get some of the big shots, the Royal Rumble. We got Elimination Chamber, so much more. But that's not the only thing. We have the NFL coming back. We got NBA starting soon. MLB is ending the regular season, so we have playoffs coming soon. So if you want to get your tickets, now is the best time. Do me a favor. There's a link down below. Go hit that. Check out Vivid Seats and go sit vividly. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go to our first match that we're going to be recapping, and that is the undisputed WWE Championship match between the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Now, this was a match that is all about character arc and character development. You know why? Because all this time leading up to this match, the debate back and forth was, how is Kevin Owens going to handle a situation where he has an opportunity to take advantage of a potentially and proven to be wounded champion in Cody Rhodes? Now, if you haven't been following Kevin Owens' journey throughout WWE, I started following him back in his NXT days, and the one thing I saw is that when there's a prize out there, then the prize fighter will do whatever it takes to get that crown. And we've seen him do it with a lot of competitors. We saw him take out Sami Zayn when Sami won his NXT World Championship in order to get that title. We saw him jump John Cena when he was first coming up onto the main roster, when Kevin Owens, was NXT World Champion. And we have seen it time and time again. When there is gold to be won, when there is money in the pot that needs to be won, he will do what it takes, because Kevin Owens is worried about one group of people. That is himself and his family. And the storyline going over to here was, is he willing to backstab a friend in Cody Rhodes in order to win a coveted undisputed championship? And guys, apparently not. He didn't do it. I'm shocked. He had an opportunity to pretty much take out the knee of Cody Rhodes, who actually buckled during the match, and he hesitated, which shocked me. He hesitated. He did maybe one little tap, and that was it. And then even at the end of the match, he had an opportunity to take out Cody Rhodes at the end of it, and he just didn't. It shocks me because I came on this show last week, and I specifically said one of the things that we could potentially see is a heel run with Kevin Owens. And it would make perfect sense. You would bring back KO. You would bring back the prize fighter. You would bring back probably one of the best heels that I've seen in NXT in the black and gold brand, but it didn't happen. So now where does this leave KO? Honestly, I'm not too sure. SmackDown is in a place where there's not really a lot of room in any other storylines right now. I mean, the US title picture is pretty much working right now with LA Knight and Andrade. Then you probably got LA Knight and I forgot this dude's name. He came up from NXT as well. Name will escape me. That's going to be a thing with these solo episodes. But there's no room in the mid-card picture. I don't think we're going to see Kevin Owens in a world title picture anytime soon, just because we got to continue the Bloodline storyline. Then we got Roman Reigns, and then we potentially got The Rock coming up. there's a lot going on in the world title picture. So where does that leave KO? Maybe he teams up with somebody and we see a tag team run, but we already saw that with Randy Orton. I don't know what happens to the prize fighter from here. Like, maybe he needs a new, fresh start. Maybe trade him over to Raw, let him put him in an IC title picture. But it's kind of weird seeing this place that Kevin Owens is in. Cody Rhodes, it's a lot more straightforward. One, with the knee injury, I'm not too sure if it was real or if it was just pretty much for the storyline, which I have to re-watch Bash in Berlin to actually tell. But it will set a stage for what's to come. Like I said, he still has to finish this whole thing with Solo Sikoa. He's got to do this whole thing with Roman Reigns. We may get The Rock, may get other wrestlers that are coming up and more storylines to hit. And there's a thing about being the champion. When you are wounded, everybody will start coming out the woodwork. So it's very, very interesting to see what is going to happen with our world champion. But we're going to go on to our next match, which is another one that shocked me. The Women's Tag Team Championship match between the Unholy Union and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Now, if you ask myself or any of my two co-hosts, Sammy and Ali, honestly, we kind of thought that seeds were going to be planted in this match for a potential rivalry between Belair and Cargill. And it didn't happen. We actually got the same kind of dominating match, even though it was also a good match in general, because Unholy Union is probably one of the only tag teams in the women's division that actually feels like a legit tag team. The other one being Damage Control. And just watching those four women square up was definitely the makes of a good match. It probably wasn't the best match out of the 5-match card, but it was a quality match. And honestly, with what happened on Raw, being that we did have Damage Control against the Unholy Union, Kairi Sane, I hope you are doing okay, because I saw that bad bump that you took jumping from the turnbuckle to the outside. So I hope you're doing well there. I think we may get a triple threat tag team match at Bad Blood between Belair and Cargill, Unholy Union, and Damage Control. And if you ask me, those are the 3 tag teams of the main roster right now. They are the ones that are essentially holding this division up. And it's a problem with the entire tag team division, both men's and women's, Raw and SmackDown. It's the fact that we don't have as many tag teams that can hold this division up. And I mean this on both sides. I've been saying it. SmackDown has this issue. Raw is starting to have this issue. NXT, not so much, because they also have the Heritage Cup, which kind of goes back and forth between tag teams and Heritage side. But we need new blood in the tag team division. I say bring up a tag team from NXT, put them on the main roster, let them compete. American Made would be another option who can fight around these tag team divisions on the men's side, but they have a thing with the White Six right now, so they're going to be busy with that for a little bit. And we just need more blood in the tag team division. Honestly, we need to bring up some people at NXT. We have the Forbidden Door open with TNA, so why not bring in some TNA tag teams there? We already have the Rascals. Just bring on a couple more tag teams. Let them go into the main roster. Let that combination between both shows hit, because then it's not going to be anything bad show-wise, because you're basically getting TNA audience to continue watching. Instead, now you got your main shows in Raw and SmackDown, and the people in TNA have a new audience from the main shows to go over to their program. And this is what I think needs to happen in order for the tag team division, both on the men's side and the women's side, to actually survive at this point. Because once you inevitably, on the women's side, get the Bianca and Jade rivalry going, well, now you're down to 2. Now you're down to Unholy Union and Damage Control. And Damage Control, I don't see lasting as much longer now that there's only 2 left. Kairi Sane and Io Sky. What now? Like, what are we doing? Anyways, off to our next match. We have the strap match. And if you saw the episode last week, you saw me crash out because this was not the strap match that I come to and expect with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. The CM Punk and Drew McIntyre rivalry is what I noticed as pure hatred between two people. And it's because you have the whole storyline with the bracelet, and you have AJ Lee and the dog that's on the bracelet, and Drew McIntyre constantly steals it and kisses it. That any man would have their blood boiling if another man were to do that same thing. So the whole premise of the storyline was we need to put them in a situation where they could beat the heck out of each other. And it just took me away from that whenever you saw them get up and then have to go 1, 2, 3 on the turnbuckles. It takes me away from the moment. I want to see them fight. The strap match itself, like the actual strap, them tying up into it, that's good because neither one of them can run. And you saw some great spots out of that. My favorite one being Drew McIntyre putting CM Punk through a table on the outside. But the whole thing with, them having to hit the turnbuckles just took me out of the rivalry. But inevitably, CM Punk actually won. And not only did he win, he actually got the bracelet back. And he started kissing it, which also made me feel weird because that bracelet was also in the trunks of Drew McIntyre. So you're kind of kissing things that shouldn't be kissed by CM Punk, but I digress. Going into Monday Night Raw, though, with Punk having his little moment of glory and talking about he's going to use this as essentially momentum and go after the World Championship against the winner of the match that we'll talk about later, only to get attacked by McIntyre again. And you got attacked, and not only that, the bracelet that you spent months trying to get back shattered. Thank God, because I was tired of seeing that bracelet week in and week out. But that also told us that this rivalry is not finished and will continue into Bad Blood. And when it goes into Bad Blood, I need a match that is worthy of these two competitors beating the heck out of each other. The name of the PLE is Bad Blood. So with the pure hatred that we were supposed to be feeling between these two competitors, we need a match that kind of engraves that. Hell in a Cell, steel cage match, false count anywhere. Any one of those three. Heck, if you really want to go back, you could bring back First Blood matches, last man standing matches. Like one of those where the premise of the match is to inflict as much pain to your opponent as possible. And if you think that there is a match that is worthy of that, do me a favor and put it down in the comments. But WWE, Triple H, anybody in that writer's room, the strap match needs to be retired. At least the part with the turnbuckles. If you want to do a strap match like a Shinsuke Nakamura and Cody Rhodes where you're strapped together but you win by pinfall or submission, then you could bring that back. But do not ever bring back the turnbuckle thing again. With that said, we have probably my favorite match because I'm so invested in this storyline. And that is the tag team match, the mixed tag match between the Terror Twins, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan, aka the Judgment Day, this new Judgment Day. And I liked it. I liked all the spots. Everything that I thought was going to happen happened with the Judgment Day interfering. Everything except I didn't have the Terror Twins winning this. And I am a huge Rhea and Damian fan. I thought they were going to lose this match because I thought we were going to continue this into Bad Blood. But the people in Berlin got what they wanted. They got to see Dirty Dom get a black eye. They got to see Dirty Dom get choked out on the corner by Rhea Ripley. They got to see Rhea Ripley get her hands on Liv Morgan and stack her up and pin her, which is the pin that is heard round the world just because of the way that she folded up Liv like a pretzel. And the Terror Twins got the win. Great. But then I thought, how do we continue this? Because at the end of the day, this rivalry should not end with that mixed tag match. It should continue. But how was WWE and their writers going to continue this? And how were they going to pretty much expand this a little more? Well, you had the opening promo with Rhea Ripley on Monday Night Raw. And then you also had Dom and Liv interrupted. Rhea trying to go after Dom and the incident with the ropes. And I don't know if that was on purpose, if that was a work for the storyline, or if it was really like a freak accident that happened, because the same thing happened to Damian Priest not too long ago. But the way that WWE used that incident in this storyline was pure genius. So if this was an accidental thing, the way they pivoted was phenomenal. But I feel like this was part of the storyline. Rhea Ripley gets injured or hurt. She's in a walking boot. And there's a match scheduled between the Judgment Day and Damian Priest. But Damian needs a partner. And Rhea has the perfect person. A person who has been after mommy for the last couple of months. A person who is probably one of the most popular superstars, not only of the Raw roster, but of the main roster as a whole. Somebody who should be receiving singles gold very soon, and that is main event Jey Uso. And I love the interaction between Rhea and Damian when she first asked Jey, and Jey supposedly didn't say yes, because the look on Damian's face said, "Excuse me?" And the look on Rhea's face said, "Yeet." And it just puts a whole new emphasis on this story. Because not only you have the Judgment Day against the Terror Twins, now you got the Judgment Day again against Jey Uso. And Jey Uso is not the type that backs down just because the numbers are not on his side at one point or another. He will fight back. He has done it. And I love to see how this new kind of like story arc involving Jey Uso in it comes ahead. But I feel like it's only temporary. It's only for the next couple of weeks until we get to Bad Blood. Because I think we're going to have 2 matches in Bad Blood. I think we're going to have Damian Priest against Finn Balor. And this is another one where it could be a regular match, because I think it would work. These two are great competitors in the ring, so I feel like it would work as a regular match. But we can also do Steel Cage. We can also do Hell in a Cell. We can also do Street Fight. I mean, I'm a sucker for those kinds of like different match types, but we may just get this as a regular singles match, 1-on-1, 1-on-4, because you know Judgment Day is going to get in this. And then we are also going to get Liv and Rhea for the Women's World Championship. It's just guaranteed. World titles need to be defended at PLEs. We haven't had a Bad Blood PLE in forever. So I feel like we're going to get this match between Rhea and Liv at the PLE at Bad Blood. And I'm not going to put my prediction out there because we have prediction episodes right before the PLEs, but it may come shock some people what I think happens then. But before we get to our last match, remember, if you like these episodes, do us a favor, hit the like button down below. Always helps the channel, always helps all of us. Let us know what your favorite match from Bash in Berlin was down in the comments below. Now, we have our main event. We have the new World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther, versus the Apex Predator, Randy Orton. And at first, when we first got this match, I didn't understand why we had it. But then come to remember King of the Ring, where Gunther won the tournament kind of in a controversial fashion. This match was so good. Everything about it was amazing. From Randy Orton's entrance, you had the entire crowd in Berlin singing the song word for word. And yet you also had like this little decibel meter that kind of was just going crazy just because of how loud it was in the arena. You had Gunther coming with just cheers and like loud like applause for him, which I know is something that he will remember for the rest of his career. Because the one thing about WWE with these international PLEs is they make sure that everybody who is from the area or around the area gets their moment to shine during these moments. And to see not only Gunther, but Ludwig Kaiser also get his moment to shine, even as just an announcer for Gunther, it was a touching moment seeing that, especially like when you go back and you listen to their interviews. They've pretty much been wanting to be in professional wrestling, in sports entertainment since they were kids. And it really shows just how big this kind of moment is for them. And then we go to the match itself. And the match, not gonna go into details on it, but it was definitely 5-star quality. The way that these two are in the ring, you have a very savvy veteran in Randy Orton who's been around this block numerous times. He's been in numerous world championship opportunities. Gunther's in his like first real reign on the main roster as a world champion. And he performed. He did everything he needed to do. He subdued Randy. He choked out Randy. He delivered the chops, which he has probably one of the most devastating chops that I have seen in some time. I don't think I've heard louder chops since the days of the Big Show. And he eventually came out with the win. He came out victorious. Randy Orton congratulated him at the end of the match. And it ends with just a loud, very loud applause from the crowd out there in Berlin. But then the question becomes, where do we go from here with these two? Gunther is going to be a little bit more difficult because, yes, we did get the whole interaction between him and Sami Zayn on Monday Night Raw. But I don't think we're going to get Sami versus Gunther in a world title picture. I feel like it's still too soon from when Sami beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship and ended that historic reign, that I feel like we should have a Sami versus Gunther match. If we do, it's just going to be so Gunther can beat him just square. Because I don't see Sami having the momentum as it is to dethrone Gunther twice in two different reigns with two different titles. I'm still of the sense that I want Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther, but we need to find a way where Ilya can do that. And I don't know where we go from here with him. I feel like WWE is doing what they need to do. They probably have seeds planted that I haven't even noticed. And they probably are going to make something out of it. For Randy, I think we're getting heel Randy back. And it's because the things that they were bringing up in commentary when Randy was going into the ring is the fact that he is, what, 2 title reigns away from 16 times? I think he's a 14-time world champion. And he needs 2 more reigns to match John Cena and Ric Flair, basically his main rival and one of his mentors, for most world title reigns in WWE, which is 16. All the while, you have John Cena basically going on his farewell tour in 2025, where he most likely will get one more title opportunity and shot at history. And I feel like it's going to happen. If we were allowed to place bets on here, I would take the fact that in 2025, John Cena will be a world champion one more time, so he can break the record at 17 title reigns. But that puts added pressure on Randy. And it puts added pressure on Randy because Father Time is not on his side. Randy has been in the WWE, well over 20 years now? He started in his early 20s. The man, I believe, is in his 40s, if not very, very late 30s. But I think he's in his 40s now. And time's a ticking. Like, we've seen Randy go through injuries and come back. We've seen Randy win titles, but we saw him lose titles. We haven't seen him before this match in a world title picture in some time. It's been a while. And you know, if we see it, he sees it. The character, the Randy Orton that is on screen knows it. And it's got to be seething into the Viper, knowing that he may retire as the 3rd best in terms of world title reigns. Not the 2nd best, not the best. 3rd best. And he may have to get to a point where he looks at himself in the mirror and wonders, what is it going to take for me to get back to where I once was? And you know what's going to take? Him going back to a place where it was Randy first and to hell with everybody else. No more tag teaming with the likes of Matt Riddle and Kevin Owens. No more saving friends like Cody Rhodes. No, you want the gold, you need to do whatever it takes to get it. And Randy at his prime was the king of doing that. You remember the days of the punt era? You remember the days of the Legend Killer? You remember the days where he was RKOing anyone, anywhere, anytime? Don't care who you were. You could have been a member of the men's division, the women's division. You could have been a part of the Authority. You could have been Stephanie McMahon or Vince McMahon themselves. And you was not safe from it. And that is the Randy Orton I think we're getting back. And if it's not going to happen anytime soon, then you can kiss any more opportunities for Randy Orton to be in the world title picture and send it down the river, because it's not happening then. But guys, that's all the time that we have for you today. Let me know what y'all thought of Bash in Berlin in the comments below. Leave us a like as well if you like these moments. We are recording pretty much every week. We're dropping our predictions for PLEs, match results, our predictions for storylines every week for you. And also, do us a favor, check out our sponsors at Vivid Seats down below as well. And I will see you next week.